my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So guys, today's reading is all about how they see you. So today's video is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for those who just want to hear what they want to hear. But if you're here for the truth, you're in the right spot. So in order to help you figure out how they see you, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and the 4 groups are as follows. We have the Amazonite, we have the Howlite, we have the Fuchsite, as well as the Tiger Eye. So you guys, I am so pumped to do this reading because honestly, I'm nosy and I'm going to be all up in that comment section checking which groups that you chose. So make sure that you leave a little comment down below. And if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed your reading or readings, if you ended up choosing more than one, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button. So yeah, guys, I want to keep this intro very short. I would rather spend more time within your individual readings. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Amazonite, and to all the other groups, I will see you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amazonite. Group number 1, the Amazonite, is for the hot-headed, hot-tempered gals and boys and unicorns out there. So I want to jump straight into your reading. As you can see, I have not prepared anything because I just find that it's more intuitive. I just find that when you don't prepare piles, it's just so much more live. I feel like we just have so much more of a connection. So let's get right into your reading. First off, we have Homeland, the Witch's Hat, we have Ostera, as well as candles. So group number 1, we are already starting off on a really interesting note. So one thing that I see here in Homeland is that they see you as somebody who has a good head on their shoulders. Okay, you have your ish together, and just that you're somebody who feels very stable. You know what I mean? You're someone who they feel like they confide in, and they see you as a trustworthy person. In the Witch's Hat, that may have to do with the fact that maybe they're a little bit scared of you, a little bit intimidated, because the Witch's Hat just proves that there's power around. So maybe for some reason you're in a position of power. Maybe you have a good job, maybe you know something that puts you in a position of power, or maybe you're just this person that may have a little bit of an authoritative air around them. But know that also just being this person that walks into a room and everyone is scared to talk to, that may also be you, group number 1. So maybe I just read you, okay? But this is how they see you, and that is one thing that may keep them a little, at a distance, or a little just intimidated. Then in Ostera, one thing that I see here, this just ties in really nicely with Homeland, the fact that even though they respect you to the point where they're almost a little bit intimidated, they see you as somebody who is trustworthy and who can keep a secret. You know what I mean? Like, they feel like if they tell you something, you will understand. You won't tell anybody that you're not supposed to tell. But I also see that they feel like you're a little bit of a loner. They feel like you're a little bit of a lone wolf, somebody who can cope best when they're by themselves. Know that in candles, there is also this air of magic. There's this air of wonderment. So they see you as somebody who has it all. You know what I mean? Either you have a heap of possibilities in your life that they're low-key a little bit jealous about, or you're just somebody that they feel like, has life already totally put together. They see your life as being picture perfect, which, this is how they see you. I'm not saying this is your life whatsoever. I don't know what struggles that you have been through or are currently going through, but when people look at you from the outside, they feel like everything is perfect. So let's move further into your reading. We have the first house. So in the first house, one thing that I see here is that the impression that you make is a very long-lasting one. So that first impression is important with you, group number 1. I see that, well, it's important with everyone, but with you it is so important because people keep that first impression of you, and that is something that they cling on to for a long time. So if you enter a room and you have this authoritative aura, you have this aura where people want to respect you, or they don't want to play games with you, that will last for a long time, a lot longer than with other people. But I also see that they feel like you're someone who is very well put together. They see you as somebody who is physically attractive. The first house is all about that, your impression, the way you look, and I just want you to know that that is something that you may want to continue keeping up, especially when it comes to your work, because just being the person that is well put together, I mean, we can't deny, we can't lie. our looks does determine how people see us and what kind of first impression we give off. So really put thought into your clothing, your makeup, your hair, whatever it is that you do on a daily basis before you leave the house, and think how you can make yourself really align with your beliefs as well as what you do for your occupation. So if you can, be a little more profesh for your job, go that extra mile, as it will bring you a lot further. And if you feel like there's something where you can express yourself more creatively because your job is a creative job, do so with your appearance as well. Your appearance is important. Then we have Mars. In Mars, one thing that I see here is that your drive, your strength, all of that is impressive. They see you as somebody who is out there, who is a go-getter, who is fearless, and that may almost make them feel a little self-conscious sometimes. You know how when you see somebody who's just getting it, they're getting the bag, they're getting things done, they're just riding the wave and they're successful, you almost feel a little intimidated. You almost feel as though like, wow, this person has so much drive, I better not get in their way or I might just get mushed. You know what I mean? And that is the kind of feeling that you give them. That is how they see you, but they would probably never say so. They would probably never admit it. Then we have the 5 of crystals, the Knight of feathers, the 3 of feathers, as well as temperance. Okay, so you're very much somebody who is in control, okay? So as we already spoke about in the whole authoritative thing, in temperance, I see that they feel like you're somebody who knows how to behave in public. You know how to hold a conversation, and you're also somebody who is very balanced, because temperance can also go the other way, where they feel like you don't have control over what it is that you do, especially when you consume like drugs. Alcohol is one thing, other types of drugs, and that you kind of need to tone it down. But within your reading, it is very clear that it's the opposite of that. They feel like you're very much put together, you know what you're doing, you know how to present yourself. In the 5 of crystals, I see that they can tell that you're persistent. When you want something, you're going to go after it, and you're not going to let anything stop you, and you're very much focused. The Knight of feathers is a figure that has like really clear vision. It is a clairvoyant figure that knows exactly what it wants, can sort of zoom in on it, focus in on it, and then go in for the kill. We have some sort of like coyote here, some sort of like wolf type of animal, and that is an animal that focuses on its target, knows that that is what it wants, zooms in and goes straight for the kill. So see this as sort of like in correlation to your goals, that is how people see you. People see you in that way, shape, or form, where you're fearlessly and going to go after what you want. In the 3 of feathers, I want you to know that there is some sort of release, okay? So I feel like people see you as someone who maybe holds a lot in. Once they get to know you, they realize that you keep to yourself for a reason. Maybe you've been hurt before, sabotaged, put in a uncomfortable position, and now you just would rather keep to yourself a little bit more than to be put in that situation again. And while people understand, they also feel like you could come out of your shell a little bit more. And yes, you are outgoing and you can hold a mature like conversation, but that doesn't change the fact that you're not exactly somebody who wants to invite a lot of emotional conversation in about things that you've been through. You would rather keep that to yourself. And I feel like people notice that, as I said, when they get to know you, and they feel like you're in need of a little bit of a recovery from that. You're in need of somebody who will listen to you, who will allow you to just let it all come out, maybe have a good cry. So in some sort of form, also a little bit like a child, in Austera, a little bit what I see here in incubation, that you need a little bit of like mothering, a little bit of nurturing. That is one thing that people can feel around you after a little while, but it's definitely not the first impression, okay? The first impression is confident, mature, like you know what you're doing, and as I said, that may not be how you feel, but that is what they see. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that it gave you further insight. I hope that you found this reading helpful as well as motivational, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Howlite group number 2. I want to get straight into your reading. As you can see, I have not prepared a pile whatsoever, just because I like to do the reading like live for you. I want to do it in a very natural way. So let's get into how they see you. We have spirit as well as containment. So one thing that I see here is that they maybe feel like you're a little bit of a mysterious kind of person. What I see here is that they may feel almost like it's hard to get to know you, like you have walls built up outside of you. And one thing that I see also though is that they know, even though they don't know you and even though you're mysterious, they know like there's something looming behind those walls. There's something there that is really interesting. So you intrigue people. You make people wonder like, okay, like what is this person all about? I really want to figure out what they do for a living, where they've been raised, like where they come from, and just who they are as a person, okay? I definitely see that you awaken people's curious side. Then we have the shadow as well as transformation. So in the shadow, one thing that I see here is that you're somebody who is very ambitious. You're somebody who very much just is able to empower themselves. And in transformation, I want you to know that any sort of transition that you go through where you have to liberate yourself, where you have to be the one standing up for yourself, is going to allow you to come to this sense of freedom. It's going to allow you to come to this sense of, wow, I can finally let go of baggage. Even if I had to be my own cheerleader, I still made it. I still did it. Then we have Aries. Okay, so group number 2, you may be an Aries or you may be of another fiery sign. One thing that I see here though is that the energy around you is very spontaneous, very dynamic, and sometimes you can be a little impulsive, and that is how people see you. They feel like you're somebody who is out there, you're somebody who can act on a whim. Sometimes you're just trying to be spontaneous, and sometimes you just don't think about it before you do it. And that is completely fine. I want you to know that that keeps things interesting. That is what makes people think that you're interesting, because they're like, wow, okay, like what is he or she, what are they going to do today? What are they going to do this time? You're very likely somebody that they like to have around, say, at parties or festivities, because you're just like the life of the party when you want to be, but only when you want to be. Apart from that, you're kind of like more of a mysterious kind of person, as I said. And then we have love as well as the 10 of shells. So in the 10 of shells, one thing that I see here is that you're somebody that people feel emotionally safe around. You're somebody where people feel like, oh, like you actually make me feel at home. You actually make me feel taken care of. And that may be because you're like wise beyond your years, very mature. And another thing that I see here is that love is one thing that you like to give. So it may be that you have been deprived of love, and that is why you put a lot of emphasis on showing a lot of love in this world, but it may just also be that love is something that you just love, okay? And if you're of a very fiery sign, it may have a lot to do with the fact that you're passionate, with the fact that when you're into something, you're not afraid to show it. And that is one thing that people really appreciate. People feel the love around you. People feel like you truly care about them. Then we have the 6 of shells as well as the moon. So in the 6 of shells, as I said, very sociable. And another thing that I see here is that you're just a blast to be around. You're very fun. You're very entertaining and outgoing. When you're in the mood to be outgoing. If you're not in the mood to do something, you're not going to do it. When you're not in the mood to do something and somebody says the sky is blue, you're going to disagree, okay? You're going to disagree till the end. I see a little bit of stubbornness here, but only when you're in that mood, okay? You have this one mood that's just not a good mood, but the rest of the time you're like out there. You're the kind of person that people like to talk to. They see you as somebody who's really fun, and in the moon, I just want you to know that overall they just get good vibes out of you. They get very pure and clean vibes, because the moon can be an indication for also somebody who doesn't quite tell the truth, who is deceitful, but they feel like you're a very transparent human being. So, you know, that is how they see you. It doesn't have to be the truth. Maybe you actually like to gossip. I mean, okay, who doesn't like to gossip every now and then? I feel like everybody has done it, does it sometimes, and we're just going to be honest on this channel, group number 2. We're not going to pretend like we're saints or like, you know, we're like spiritually on a whole nother level than everybody else. I mean, sometimes you just like to do that. And that's completely fine. But they see you as somebody who is very sincere and who will not talk about somebody unless there's a real reason to. Then we have hex as well as ancestors. So group number 2, I want you to know here that there's some form of fear of being alienated, okay? That is one thing that I see within your reading. Okay, other people may get kind of nervous about you. They may feel almost like if they make the wrong move, like you're not going to talk to them anymore, or you're not going to like them the way you like them. That is one thing that I see here in banishment. But in ancestors, I also want you to keep in mind that there's a lot of like history that oozes out of you. So you may think to yourself, like, what? Like, I come from a completely normal family. I'm not like anything special. There's not a lot of history behind me, but I want you to know that the energy and the past life karma from your ancestors lives on within you. You know, that is something that is passed down, that is like embedded in your DNA, the experiences from your parents, your grandparents, the people who came before you. And it is so important for you to know that that is energy that you're still radiating, whether your family was well known or not, whether they were prominent in society or not. It still radiates this energy where people have like, when people meet you, they feel like there's something there. They feel like there's something special about you. So they see you as somebody to a certain degree with authority, somebody to a certain degree who they have to be respectful with, because otherwise it may just be over for them. But that is just a fear that they have. Then we have the magic circle as well as the moon. So they see you definitely as somebody who will protect the young, the weak, those who maybe cannot do so for themselves. They see you as like an older, like fatherly, motherly type of figure who will just be there for other people. So you're not one to be messed with as soon as somebody is in the picture who is vulnerable. So that could be a child, that could be an animal, that could even be the environment. Those are things that you're most likely passionate about. And in the moon, I just want you to know that they see you as somebody who is also like kind of spiritual, who is also kind of different. They feel like you're somebody who is unconventional, who likes what they like, and you're not afraid to express that you like it, which makes them see you as sort of like a leader figure. It makes them see you as somebody that they envy to a certain extent, because a lot of other people cannot express themselves the way you express yourself. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful. I hope that you found it motivational. If you did, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Fuchsite, and yes, I already know there are going to be a ton of jokes about that name in the comment section, but it's okay, because we just want to find out exactly how they see you. So I'm going to be doing this intuitively. I do not like to prepare groups anymore, because I just find this like a lot more of a live reading. It's just more natural. So let's move right into your reading. We have the Watchtower of the East, we have prosperity, and then we have air. So do we have an air sign here, or do we have an air sign that you're maybe inquiring about? Maybe you're trying to figure out exactly how this air sign sees you. But overall, one thing that I have to say about how they see you is just the fact that they find you physically attractive, that they find you to be somebody who is fertile looking, if you know what I mean. They find you to be someone who probably has it easier in life because you're cute, or because you look very good, because you just have like a bomb personality, and that is how they see you. They see you as somebody who has a prosperous life, as somebody who basically like sows seeds and can always reap the rewards. They feel like things flow to you very easily, and that you're a very creative and imaginative kind of person, that your brain game is strong, if you know what I mean. They find you very intelligent, interesting, and just somebody overall that they maybe wish that they could be or be with, but they would never tell you. So let's move further into your reading. We have the 5th house, and then we have Aquarius. So group number 3. This may be an Aquarius, as I said, an air sign, and then we have Aquarius showing up here. You know, some call it a coincidence. So in Aquarius, I want you to know that they may see you as somebody who is very freedom loving, that maybe you have those air traits that they really like, and you just may be somebody who is very much into doing what it is that you want to do, regardless of how other people feel. So they feel like you're somebody who is rebellious, and as I said, this is how they see you. This is not how you see you, group number 3. So rebellious and out there, okay? You're not afraid to try something new. You're not afraid to stand out, and you're the kind of person who can do things really, really well by themselves. This does not make you a loner. This does not make you necessarily an introvert. This makes you somebody who works really well alone, who just thrives in an environment that is more like quiet, that allows your brain to truly pick away at the ideas and allow them to come to fruition. In the 5th house, one thing that I see here is that you're somebody who they feel like is romantically very successful. They feel like you're somebody who is not only creative but romantically in a place where you have a lot of choice, where you are able to decide whether you want to be with this person, that person, and you're just in a happy spot. They feel like you're not lacking anything romantically. So group number 3, I want to figure out a little more in detail how they see you. So we have the 7 of crystals, we have the Queen of feathers, the 9 of crystals, as well as the Page of crystals. So we have a lot of crystals here within your reading, group number 3. And the crystals represents the earth, which represents the pentacles. So pentacles are all things earthly, and I just want you to know here that they feel like you're somebody who is able to birth new ideas and make them make money, as well as someone who has already created things to a certain extent where you know what you're doing and they feel like they can look up to you in the earthly realms. This may also have to do with health and fitness though. So maybe you used to struggle with your weight, or you used to struggle with time management, being good in school, or as I said, in business, and then all of a sudden you got onto a track where you learned more about yourself, where you learned more about just becoming more efficient, more healthy, and more successful, and they can see that. They feel like you've made a lot of progress. They see you as somebody who is very goal focused. They see you as somebody who has a lot of abundance and security in their life now because of that, because you're somebody who has been so goal focused and actually made sacrifices in order to get there. And in the Queen of Feathers, I want you to know that they also feel like you're very outspoken. So you may be the kind of person that people shy away from when they want, for instance, business advice, or they want advice about school or so, because you will just tell them straight up, like, there's no way around it. You just need to put in time, dedication, and hard work. I can't do it for you. You need to do it for yourself. There's no trick. You just got to do what you got to do. And a lot of people don't like to hear that truth, group number 3. But that doesn't mean that you need to change. That doesn't mean that you need to not tell people how it really is if that is how you've gotten to this point in your life. I think that it's important that you remain sincere, that you remain honest. Just maybe try and form sentences in a way how people can be a little more receptive of it, and how people can feel a little bit less intimidated by you. You know what I mean? So in the Queen of Feathers, definitely continue to speak your truth. Definitely continue to tell people what you've been through and how they can do the same, but at the same time also remember that not everybody is as disciplined as you, and not everybody can think of as many ideas as you can in order to move further down in life, or to be more successful, or to create businesses. We're all different, and some of us feel like we're not very good at creative ventures or ideas, which just that thought is already a blockage. So group number 3, be a little bit empathetic towards people like that, or people who are experiencing some sort of blockage creatively. You never know when you're going to go through something like that. You never know when it's going to hit you, and you're going to hope that people are going to treat you with empathy and are going to be understanding of your situation. So let's move just a little further into how they see you. So we have intensification as well as fertility. So as I said, you're somebody who is attractive, you're somebody who is good looking to them. They see you as someone who they want to be with. We already actually spoke about fertility shortly, which, you know, some will say is a coincidence. So, I mean, I don't want to say use this trait to your advantage, but group number 3, use this trait to your advantage, okay? If it makes life a little easier in the dating game to just allow yourself to be open-minded and meet a lot of different people because you're approachable, because of your exterior physique, I don't see anything wrong with you putting yourself out there and just having a lot of options because of that. We all have our opportunities, our challenges, our pluses and minuses in life, and just because some of them are a little more superficial than others doesn't mean that if one of your pluses is in the more earthly, superficial realms, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. So do not feel ashamed of it. Don't feel like you're always being diminished to physicalities, okay? That is one trap that I don't want you to fall into, because how you present yourself is everything. So someone who looks very attractive and presents themselves in a rather like ditzy way, in a way where they dumb themselves down just to sort of comfort themselves, okay? I think a lot of it is comforting themselves. They are obviously not going to have the same effect on other people as somebody who, yes, is physically attractive, but instantly shows that, you know, they're here, they're ready to have a smart conversation, and they're knowledgeable of a lot of different things, and they're worldly, you know, that just makes such a big difference. And one thing that you may have struggled with that a lot of people don't understand is that being physically attractive like has just as many downfalls as it has pluses, as it has opportunities that comes with it. So if you want to enjoy a few of the opportunities, please feel free to group number 3. And last but not least, in Letha, one thing that I see is that they see you as somebody who can be a little intense, who can get to a point where, like, if you're mad, that's just it. You just don't want to talk anymore. Okay, we can talk later, we can talk tomorrow, maybe even never. So that is one thing that they see in you, just kind of like also fiery energy. Yes, we have air here, but also to a certain degree, somebody who is fierce, somebody who is not going to take any sort of crap from anyone. So they definitely see that you're someone who will tell them straight up that you have boundaries and it's up until this point and no further. You just have a little bit of an intense streak. What can I say? So group number 3, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you found it insightful. I hope that it gave you a little more information about yourself than you had prior to this video. And I hope that you have an amazing day or night wherever you are in this world. And I'll see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye. I want to move straight into your reading about how they see you, and we're doing this completely intuitively. I do not prepare piles just because I find that this way we can connect, we can make it a lot more natural, if you know what I mean. So first and foremost, we have containment, then we have incubation, and we have invocation. So group number 4, one thing that I see here for you is the fact that they see you as somebody who is a little withdrawn, okay? They feel like you're someone who doesn't put themselves out there, that you're very mysterious, that you keep to yourself. So it may be that you are an introvert, group number 4, or it may just also be that you're somebody who doesn't like to socialize. You have your friend circle, you have the people closest to you, you've been burnt many times and you're not about to be burnt again, okay? And that is just one thing that may just be a part of your life right now in this moment, and they see that. They see that you don't just let anybody into your life. You're somebody who finds their alone time and their circle to be something sacred that you want to protect and that you just need in order to escape from the world sometimes, and there's nothing that you would risk that for. You're the kind of person who wouldn't risk their inner peace for anything, okay? If it costs you your peace, the price is too expensive, group number 4. Then I want you to know in the ritual that they feel like you're somebody who is very good at planning, okay? They feel like you're somebody who has time management together. They feel like whatever you want to do, you somehow manage to do it, and they ask themselves how. Like, how do you, for instance, study, work, be able to have a social life, be able to have a relationship? They think like, wow, like you must be some sort of time genius. But let's move further into your reading. We have Chiron. So in Chiron, one thing that I see is that regardless of the fact that you don't necessarily want to make no new friends, you are the kind of person who has a lot of like healing power. You're the kind of person who is very empathetic. So if you can help somebody, you will. Even if it makes your life harder, even if it puts you in a situation that is uncomfortable, you're the kind of person who would rather help another human being than just sit there and watch them go through hell. Then we have the moon. So they definitely see you as somebody who is sensitive. They definitely feel like you're somebody who they don't want to upset, or else you might get sad. You know what I mean? And that sadness comes out in many different ways. I mean, some of us, when we get angry, we cry. We just never talk to the person again who made us sad, or it takes like a really long time. So I just want you to know that they definitely see you as a very gentle soul. They definitely see you as somebody who would not hurt a fly. And ooh, okay, yep, Venus, and somebody who is cute, okay? Somebody who is good looking. One thing that I see here in Venus is that the part of you that desires success, that is all for the things that are beautiful in life, I definitely see that that is one thing that really sticks out. So you may be an artist, you may be somebody who loves beautiful music, beautiful drawings, and it's something that you want to be a part of. So you're maybe a very artsy kind of person to them. They may see you as somebody who's very creative and someone who is able to just be different, to stand out, but in a way that is not like screaming like, look at me. You just have that raw talent. You just have that ability to do things where people are just like, wow. You don't need to introduce your work. You don't need to introduce your art. It introduces itself. Then we have the 5 of shells as well as the Ace of shells. So the shell stands for water signs. So we have very much water sign kind of energy. And just in correlation to the moon, a lot of the water signs are very sensitive. A lot of the water signs, I mean, we just don't know when to stop talking. That is another thing about us. But I just want you to know that people see you as somebody who is genuinely a very happy person, somebody who is genuinely also grateful for what they have in life, and you're very, very much family oriented. That is one thing that we have here in incubation. Like you would do anything for your family, even if it meant walking to the end of this earth, spending your last penny. You're just the kind of person who, despite the struggle, what is important for you is to stay true to yourself and to make sure that everybody is okay. That is one thing that I see in the 5 of shells. The 5 is a number of sort of like challenge, struggle, where you feel almost like you're in competition, but not with you. For you, it's more important to make sure that people are okay and to just take care of those who are important to you in your life. Then we have the Magician as well as the Shaman. So in the Magician, I see a lot of willpower. I see a lot of creativity, as we have already spoken about. When you create something, it speaks for itself. But one thing that I see in the Magician is the fact that they see you kind of like as an all-rounder. They see you as somebody who knows a little bit of everything and who can do a little bit of everything, which makes you someone who is easy to be around. You're someone where people don't feel worried, afraid, intimidated. They just feel like they can get comfortable around you. But one thing that I see here in the Shaman is that that may also make you a target for people to play you, for people to try you, for people to mistake your kindness for weakness. And group number 4, that can be very upsetting and very hurtful. But let's move further into your reading. We have the Sun as well Chariot. So it's very clear, group number 4, that regardless of how people test you, try you, you're always the kind of person who stays in control. You're the kind of person who's just like, you know what, it's fine. You've showed me your true colors and I'm just going to accept them and move on. And when you need me, I will remind you of those true colors. You get what I'm saying? So you will just remain happy. You're not going to let that affect your life too much. And you're just the kind of person who's very much focused on joyfulness. So the people who see opportunity in you, the people who see like, oh, like maybe I can get something out of them, they do not realize this, okay? That is a part that they cannot see. But those who see you as a very empathetic, kind, giving kind of person, they realize that you're the kind of person who is not sensitive as like where you're gonna start crying about like every little thing. But you're sensitive to the fact that if you're being lied to, if you're being deceived, if you're being taken advantage of, that is something that you don't forget and you don't really forgive. You know, second chances with that very rarely, and you would rather move on. So that is one thing that people respect about you. And in the chariot, I want you to know that they can tell that even though you're like a soft and kind, a gentle soul, you still have determination. You still know where you want to go. And when there's things that you want to accomplish, you are not afraid to fight for them. You're not afraid to roll up your sleeves and get it done. So basically with you, there are two sides. Group number 4. One person sees your kindness almost as a weakness, which they then quickly realize was a big mistake, okay? Pretty woman moment. And then there is another side of you where people realize that yes, you're sensitive, but at the same time, if they just treat you with respect, if they just make sure that they're honest with you, that they speak to you, and they're genuine, then there is a very long-lasting sort of bond that can be formed with you. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful. I hope you learned a little more about yourself in this reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.